Oh, good morning. Good morning. It is July 5th, 2022, and it is a hot one. I think Springfield's going to be breaking some heat index records, but it is July, so it's to be expected. I've got this dual screen setup now. You guys should see it. It's glorious. And it's not as impressive as Sage News Live's 15 screens that he's got going on, but it's a big step for me. When we have a driver that does multiple stops, it is extremely handy to have double screens to enter raycons. But anyways, I hope you all had a good Fourth. If not, at least a relaxing day in the truck stop if you were working. Hopefully you didn't get screwed on a load. You went to go pick a load up and it wasn't there, or you went to go receive to the receiver and it wasn't there. And yeah, so holidays can be kind of tricky. We talked about that, and so it's kind of how it is, right? No holidays for a while, so that'll be nice. So if you're July to August, well, basically between now and Labor Day is when you really want to be at it. I mean, June as well. I mean, you always want to be at it, I guess. I know that seems hypocritical, seeing that I'm from home. I'm working from home, but again, I've developed a business from home as well. But I think we might be able to get in the truck this week. We'll see what the loads do and what my drivers are doing. So, um, but anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. I mean, you don't want to dwell on people's misery and thrive in that, right? So let's see here. Big Houston, what's up, man? How are you doing? We got Daryl Worth. Good morning. Desiroki Pam. Good morning. Nothing Witty. Good morning. Sick Semper Tyrannus. Just watching yesterday's live. Good deal, man. Good deal. Yep. None of those lives have been put to. Remember, I did yesterday's live from the StreamYard on the phone to both of the channels. So trying to get some views on the other channel so I can get that above 1,000. And you can't. I mean, you can. People have done it, but it's tough to build a channel off of just live streams. I know people that have, but they grow consistently more if you're consistent with videos. And I am not consistent enough. I know I preach consistency in the trucking thing, but I am horrible hypocrite when it comes to the YouTube. Sage News Live, what's up? I guess you did a video about AB5. I guess there were some arguments about AB5 on another channel. I'm not sure. That's what I was told. I didn't watch, but like maybe 2 YouTube videos yesterday, and they weren't even trucking related. Let's see. Jose, good morning. Brian OCD Garner, what's up, man? How's it going? It's been a minute since I've seen you in here. Bob G, good morning. I know I'm nice. Let's see. Good morning and safe travels, says John Stroud. Hope you're doing well. Utah Trucker, what's up, man? Mr. Charles, good morning. Greg Zimmer, good morning. Hopefully you're sitting at the dock doing very well. Trucking for Fun, it was good speaking to you. So Trucking for Fun and I had a good conversation. What was it, Friday or Saturday? I think it was Saturday. And good conversation, man. He's a person that's got his head on his shoulders and has taken some of the words that I've said to heart, wanted my viewpoints on, basically give him a status report. And I think he's doing pretty well, especially in this freight market. And he reminds me that if you have something that's working, don't try to fix it. I mean, you always want to improve, but at the same time, if it's supplying your business the way you want and need, then by all means, other people's opinions on whether that's successful or not does not matter. What matters is for you. You know where and that's just how it is, right? That's just how it is. Scott, SRO Logistics, good morning to you. Scott is a demonstration of being prepared for negative situations such as big repairs. And um, that would be a great video content there, Scott, if you go back to making videos. It's, you know, you wake up one day and you have 3 codes and then it costs you 5 grand. I mean, that's a reality here. So that's a reality. No biggie. No, I was getting a text from somebody saying that there's a huge debate on AB5 again, and I think that yesterday explained my thoughts on the AB5. We've got bigger things to worry about. You know, we're not a California carrier, so it's that's it. Oh, let me give you a reminder that let's put the website in the deal. We have 2 trailers available. So uh, we're up at 8K now. Wow, man, that's that's tough, man. Thank you for the kind words. You're willing to share your knowledge. Experience has been helpful to me personally. Well, I you're very welcome. You're very welcome because you know I'm always willing to help someone who's willing to better themselves. And if I can't motivate people to better themselves, then I feel like I failed. Because there's a lot of people right now that are struggling that that you know sometimes people are their own worst enemy. So, but you are not one of them. Truck for Fun, you've got you got a good head on your shoulders. There's that guy. Grafton, what's up? Let me. I'm gonna send a text here. Let's see. And sorry, forgive me. I'm sending someone a text in this chat, and if you don't want to, just that's fine. It's not a big deal. So, let's see, Josh, the vegan. Good morning. I love that title. Is 8K is really about 15K after downtime and lost load revenue. Yep. I mean, look, sometimes it's good to look at that number, but other times that number can be even more stressful, right? I if I thought of terms of lost revenue when I haven't run, it would be I'd be very stressed. Old fat white guy, what's up? Whatever happened to Kenny from chat? I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to him. He got bored. Most trolls get bored, you know. I had some suspicions who Kenny was, but I'm not going to put it out there. Um, so let's see. Let's go to the title. What's next? Right? What's next? So there's some debate out there what's going to happen to freight, what's going to happen to the rates, and what's going to happen to fuel. And right now, Ascend is showing 572 U.S. average for a gallon of diesel. And it's showing rates coming down a little bit. $2.59 on van, $3 on spot or on reefer, and $3.29 flatbed. Looks like reefer rates kind of took a sharp decline. Not well sharp, but I mean like by 16 cents. Everything else has been changing like 1 cent, 8 cents, 3 cents. Van dropped 9. I could tell last week. Last week was brutal. So Scott, I sent you a message. I sent you a text. Shannon, good morning. Red Chicken was in Pale Riders. Yes, he was. He was bored. It's amazing what he can peck out. Okay, cool. All right, Scott, I will do this here. Let's see if I can. Scott, I'm going to do this through the email. Okay, I'll do this through the email. Copy. Let's do this. Man, I love having a dual screen. All right. Now I know why Jeff feels like a king with multiple screens. Compose. My internet's been kind of slow today. All right. I just sent you the link, Scott. All right, Shannon, good morning. What I missed? You missed absolutely nothing. You missed me talking about stuff that, is very controversial. So have you finished all 3 books yet? You and DIY were talking about. I just finished the last one last week. I do not have the 3rd one yet. I think I might go get it this week. Hopefully. It just depends, but no, I have not. So don't spoil it for me. I know that Big Rig CEO was in on that. I told him about the series, and because he drives more than I do, he's listened to all 3 audiobooks. Let's see. I just paid $4.89 for diesel fuel in South Carolina. It gone down 30 cents. Well, that's good news. That's good news. Good morning, no sir. How are you? Crowbar, shirt scud approved. And good morning. Good morning. Morning, Terry. We'll have to do some lunch soon. I know I keep saying that, but there's a lot of things going on. TK, what's up? Sage News, multi-screens is great. It is. I don't know how you handle 4. Was it 4 or 5 that you have, Eric? But having 2 is nice. And it says on the StreamYard even that you if you want to share your screen, you want multiple screens. The only thing I don't like is ever since I've added this other screen, the speakers want to go to the default to the monitor, which I have to keep adjusting that. Internet slows down is a sign that you're using it too much. Get back in the truck, give it a chance to catch back up. That is very true, Oser. No, I do want to get in the truck. Yesterday, I got in the truck and I started it up, let it run for about 30 minutes, kind of get the juices flowing, get the air built up, and make sure there's no check engine lights from sitting too long, getting in there. And there's a few loads in the area that I'm looking at, but I got to make sure that my drivers are doing okay. I've got one driver that should be empty in Phoenix this morning. And then I've got a driver that's loading now, and I have a driver that should be delivering here in about an hour. So once I know they're taken care of, then we'll get things in, because I do miss doing some loads here and there. Whether they're profitable or not, that's going to be different story. 3 screen on one computer and 1 screen on the other 3 computers. I can run 4 screens on MT Max Studio, so I might get one more. All right. So let's bring in SRO Logistics. Scott, how are you doing? Looks like you're at home. Why are you at home?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked that, Steve. I decided that I had too much money and I had to give somebody some of my money so I could sit at the house.
So basically what I did is I texted Scott. Scott called me the other day and was like, "Hey, I'm in a rental car going home." And Scott, you know, it's the importance of making sure that you can handle a rainy day, because he is at his rainy day. So go ahead and explain the situation there, Mr. SRO.
Well, last Wednesday, I was making my delivery up in West Virginia. It's my normal run that I have with one of my brokers, very consistent run. And back up to the door. It's a slight incline, so, but not a big deal. Back up to the door, get unloaded. They're like, okay, here's your paperwork, hit the road. I'm like, cool. Had a load to go and get back to the house because we had some stuff going on this weekend anyway. Start the truck, build the air, hit the red and yellow buttons, put it in gear. It's a Volvo iDrive, automatic. Mm-hmm. Put it in gear, and it says, yeah, we're not doing this today. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I thought I was like, I'm on an incline, so I'm kind of wedged against the door, so I put it in neutral, put it in reverse, moved it around. No. And on the automatics, if nothing works right, you hit the pedal, it just idles. It doesn't even give you throttle. So I put it in neutral, hit the throttle, it revs up. So I'm playing with back and forth. I tried dropping the airbags, raising the airbags, thinking the transmission itself's in a bind and the actuator couldn't pull the clutch,
Mm-hmm.
I disconnected, to take pressure off of it, couldn't get it. One of the older guys that runs their shuttle bus trucks over there, he came over, he's like, hey, what's wrong? And he's like, yeah, we have those Volvos, your actuator's out, you're not going anywhere. So I was like, okay. And so where I was, the nearest Volvo dealer is in Marietta, Ohio, about 80 miles away. So I'm thinking that's going to be a fun tow bill. Truck, trailer. Fortunately, trailer's empty, but truck and trailer towed 80 miles. We're talking a couple $1,000s. So we start looking around, and fortunately, in the town where I'm at, there's a small regional company called Worldwide Equipment, and they had a place right there in the town I was in, literally like 5.5 miles away. And then he says, hey, call this guy. He's got a tow truck. He's like 2 blocks away. So I was like, cool. So once again, being in the right place, right time for that aspect, although it was a bad situation, I had somebody there that could give me some information and say, you need to call this person this. So I called the guy up. He's like, yep. He goes, I can be there about half hour. He goes, my big truck is out. I've got my smaller truck, so I'll take your truck one time and come back and get your trailer. So now I'm thinking, okay, 2 trips, that's going to add up again. He's like, no, $600 for both round trip, or, to get both of them done. I'm like, book it, Dano. Let's go.
Yep, that's a good rate.
Just in case he made a mistake with that price, I wanted to lock it in. So hauled ass over there. He came and got me. We went over there. I got checked in with the place. He went back, got the trailer, came back, wrote him a check. Done and dusted. We're out of here. So now they're like, well, we can't look at it till tomorrow, being Thursday. I'm like, okay, can I sleep in the truck? He goes, well, if you park outside the gate, you can, because, security and issues and insurance, they can't have anybody in the vehicle inside gates at night. It's like, no problem, because I got food, I got APU, sort of. And you understand that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we parked out front. I stayed out there at night, and they opened at 7 o'clock. And about 7:30, dude comes tootling up. He's like, get out. We're bringing your truck in. So, like, cool. 2.5 hours later, I go to check on them. They're like, yeah, we're doing a parts list right now for you. I'm like, well, how bad is it? And he hands me this piece of paper, and it's got $6,500 at the bottom. I'm like, I'm sorry, $4,600 at the bottom. $4,600. That's dyslexia. It gets you. So I'm like, ugh. What it was the actuator for the shifter had gone out. So you got the arm, the actuator, the solenoid, gaskets and wire, all this. So it's $4,600, 46.67 some pennies. Cool. He's like, yeah, you're not leaving today or tomorrow. He says the holiday weekend. He goes, it'll be ready next Wednesday. So the night before, anticipating that, I'd looked at flights, and they were about $700 round trip to leave on Thursday, come back the following week. I'm like, I can deal with that. So I get back on the computer, and thanks to Google and its tracking analytics, the prices are now $1,500 because it knows I was looking already. So I was like, huh. So rent a car, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 13-hour drive to my house. I do it every day anyway. So get a car round trip for $600 for 8 days. They took me over to the rental place, got in the car, drove, took a break at a rest area for like 5 hours to get a nap, and was home Friday morning about 8 o'clock in the morning. No big deal. So I talked to him Friday afternoon. He's like, yeah, your clutch is not good. It's separating. You're going to need a new clutch. I'm like, okay, throw it on there. And he's like, by the way, on the back side of your engine, there where your cam cover is, that's leaking oil. And he says, now's the time to do it because the transmission's down. I'm like, well, go ahead and fix that too. So we went from 4,600 up to we're over 8,000 now.
Wow.
But we're getting a lot of PM done that really needs to get done so that I don't break down with those things in the near future. So it's money well spent. Okay. So they're supposed to call me later today and let me know if they're going to have it either Thursday or afternoon or Friday morning, so I know when to get back up there. So fun.
You might have to turn your volume down on your phone.
I'm not on the phone. I'm on the laptop.
Okay. I'm hearing myself a little bit, so I just didn't want to.
All right. Let me.
You have the original YouTube video going? Just pause that.
No.
Okay.
No, it is paused.
Testing 1 2. Okay. Sounds like you're good now. So more than likely they'll have it done by Friday afternoon, just in time to not be able to book a load.
Oh, Thursday afternoon. He said Thursday afternoon or Monday morning. And the kicker is I got to be back home this weekend because I've got a trailer I'm selling, and the guy wants to come look at it this weekend. So I basically got a deadhead back empty, so I can get back here, so I can get this guy to look at the trailer, and then Monday I'll just start my normal day, my normal week again. So, like I made my comment earlier, that 8K isn't really 8K. I'm down for 9.5 days. So you got the 8K for the expense. And remember that 8K is still a target because we don't know if they found anything else yet. But I got the 8K. I've got the week of downtime. I've got the loads I missed on that downtime. So we're pushing $17,000 when you add it all up. It's not just the repair. It's the time sitting. It's the time without revenue. It's all those factors. You have to account for those. So it's just like warranty work. Oh, well, it's under warranty. Yeah, but if it takes 3 weeks, that's 3 weeks of no income. Warranty's great because it covers part of it, but it doesn't fix your problem of your income. And this is kind of the same position where you have this expense, but yet you can't go out and make more money. Now, fortunately, I have other guys that are running under my authority, but 4th of July holiday, they're pretty much at home too. So, that kind of does that too. But even though they're running, that doesn't cover all my bills. I still have to run. So, still trying to make money out here, trying to do it the best we can.
Yeah. No, it's tough. And what I've noticed, and this is what's taking people out right now, is people are deciding between bills and truck maintenance.
Oh yeah.
Because
if you're not prepared for it, then it'll eat you up quickly.
That extra percentage that fuel's taking right now is putting a huge strain. So when you take the rate reduction that we've seen and the fuel increase that we've seen, that number is taking away a lot of people's savings. It's taking away a lot of their that extra percentage that they were normally getting. They can't set aside anymore. I dealt with that myself the first time I dealt with the recession back when I was at Landstar. You get to this point where you can't put money back because you're just paying the bills. And what people don't realize is 10 cents a mile, if you're running 2,500 miles a week is used to be good, but not anymore. Now you need more, like I would say almost a quarter a mile just to put back just for that rainy day.
Right.
That's definitely something you experience. And you're not like, you know, I know people that are doing this owner operator stuff with absolutely no credit, and so a repair like yours, and you're paying cash, but a
Yeah.
repair like yours can take a person out because here's the thing. So let's say you save $20,000 in cash and you have a $10,000 repair, and you're like, okay, cool, I paid cash for that. But then the truck asks
Hang
for
on a
another
second.
10 grand.
Yeah, go ahead and wake them up. All right, sorry about that.
No,
The
that's
boss
that's
was talking.
right. And the truck asks for another 10 grand before you can get a couple of weeks out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what puts a lot of people in a situation that is not ideal. So,
Right, because I'm
but
not
and
out of
then
the woods. I mean, let's say I spend 8,000 on this, and 2 weeks later, I just get running, and then the engine has an issue, and it's another 8,000. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I still have the money to cover that, but now we're talking about 16,000 potentially. That's a big dent in what I have. I still can cover it, but and that people are like, oh well, you just got to run harder and you make it up. You never really make it up. You catch up, but you don't make it up. Okay.
Mhm.
That 8,000's gone. I can go build my count back up that 8,000 in a couple weeks. But in order for me to make up that 8,000, I'd have to, run illegal, of course, to make the hours to make the money to do that. So you never really make it up. You just replace it and then move on.
Mhm. Man, there was a point I was going to make with that. Yeah, that's what it was. Your cost per day just went up substantially,
Exactly.
quite
Well,
a bit.
it went up if you're going to try and recover that in, like, let's say in this month, July, I want to recover that 8 grand plus make money, then yeah, your cost per day goes up. Okay. Now, if I'm like, I'm just going to move forward from here, my cost per day can stay the same because my cost per day includes a net profit to build per day. Okay. So if I just continue where I'm at, I will eventually, like I said, replace that 8,000 to where I was starting, before I wrote the check, and then grow from there. But yes,
Mhm.
if I wanted to add, say, $300 to $500 per day to my cost per day, then
Mhm.
yeah, I either got to better negotiate, or I got to run harder, I got to stay out longer, no going home on the weekends, things like that, to make that money up. But it's hard to make up 8,000 in 1 month, especially with the way we are right now. Year and a half ago, 2 years, that was a lot easier to do. Now,
Mhm.
not so much.
Yeah, and what I'm finding with personal experience and people that I know, once you get behind on the maintenance and repair and you get behind on your bills, it's tough to come back right now. It's tough. So, if people are struggling to do a $2,000 or $3,000 repair, they're already in the hole, and it's tough to get out of the hole right now, regardless of your negotiating skills. Um, interesting conversation I had over the holiday weekend was with a family member that works for a local brokerage, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we've had our best quarter. We're doing really good." And it's like, how's it on your end? And I think it dawned on her that when their end is doing really well, our
Right.
end isn't. And she kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, I'm gonna go over here now.
And never the twain shall meet.
Right. And a lot of people, like, you can be the best negotiator, but right now relationships, and I mean, negotiating is a part of that, but the relationships is what's keeping a lot of people afloat right now, in my opinion. And that was what Trucking for Life or Trucking for Fun, I'm sorry, we're talking about. And you and I have talked about that. I mean, you've got a really great relationship with the broker. That's pretty much been your main jam for the last couple of years. And I
I've
think
got like
that
4
that served
brokers
you
that I
pretty
pull
well.
exclusively for. It's not contract, but it's like contract. So
Hmm.
they call me. I mean, I'll call them, let them know where I'm at, and they call me and say, "Hey, we got this load, we got this. When are you gonna be in town?" So it's I may look at board or any load board 10 times a month at the most.
Hmm.
And half the time while I'm looking at it, one of them calls and says, "Hey, a load popped up. You want it?" I'm like, "Hell yeah." So I've been
Right.
doing that for 3 years now, but it takes time to develop those. Okay. And
Yeah.
I preach it.
How
I know
old's
there are
your
people out there
authority?
that say, "Do what?"
How old's your authority, by the way?
Uh, I got it in 17.
So it's not something you
So
just jumped
5 years.
into. It took you a while to build that, to find
Oh,
that
yeah.
broker, that relationship.
Well, I got the first one like a year after I started, and then the others have just developed as I had that lane I was running. I found brokers that were in that area where I dropped off to find a pickup, and I ended up making a triangle where I go up and I can either go over to Houston, Texas area, or I can go down to the South Georgia, Florida area, and then I have brokers that get me back to my hometown, and so I can make a triangle going up west, or I can go up and east, and get back, and it allows me to be home almost every weekend. It's look, it's not the best money, but it's better than what you're seeing out there on the load board, especially right now.
Hmm.
Um, when COVID hit and everything was literally shut down, I was busier then than before because the products that I carry for these brokers is not consumer style products. It's stuff that's used in industry wide. So that stuff had to move regardless of what was happening because it was certain elements that were needed to do certain functions uh, so that cities can operate or other mainstream industries can operate. So that stuff moved no matter what. It wasn't food or pallets, things like that. It was high grade stuff. So I was still, as you know, we talked, I was still making really good money through all that. Now that rates are gone crazy, I was able to go to my brokers and say, "Hey, look, I'm not asking for a ton of money, but here's how much my fuel went up. I just need that to be replaced." And all but one of them said, "No problem." Okay. One of them met me about halfway, but I don't pull for that one very often, so it wasn't a big deal. But my main ones, they were just like, "Sure, no problem." You never see the stuff I pull on the load boards. It just doesn't exist because me and a few other owner operators handle it for them. They send they'll send me a rate con a week ahead of time, and I won't hear from them until I tell them the load's done. It's a set it and forget it because they know that I don't have to worry about it. If there's an issue, I will let them know. And when there's an issue, I'm going to figure out the problem. I'm going to figure out the solution. Then I'm going to call them and tell them, "Hey, I'm broke down, but I've got this and this and this, and I'll be an hour late," or whatever it may be. I call them with the solution. I don't call them with a problem and ask them to fix it. I just tell them,
Hmm.
"Hey, we have a problem. Here's what I'm going to do. Are you okay with it?"
I'm gonna go with Oster's comment here. Most brokers don't care about relationships now. There's still too many trucks for them to pick from to care about building relationships with anyone. Oster, that's right and wrong at the same time. Let me explain. The majority of my big money freight is not hitting the low board that I'm getting for the other drivers. It just isn't. It's through the relationships that I've established and also established as a dispatcher that is allowing me to keep guys moving. And I have pulled some miracles out for some of these guys, and it's because of the relationships that I have. Now, are there brokers that don't value relationships? Absolutely. But those are the ones that are on the DAP board taking 15 phone calls an hour. They only want email only, and they're trying to move stuff at a buck 20 a mile. Yeah, those guys don't care about relationships. And so it's kind of like going through the bargain bin in the in the electronics section at Walmart, through the DVDs. You got to thumb through all of them, then you're going to find that one that's worth $5. And so Scott is a perfect example of how relationships work if you find the right brokers that are willing to do that. Big Rig CEO, same thing. He's primarily working for two brokers that are making him good money because of the relationship that he's established. That's what I do. And so if a person's having trouble finding the brokers that have relationships, you just got to keep digging. But they're out there because eventually the things will turn in our favor, and then they'll value those relationships a little bit more. So there's a lot of drivers that don't value relationships, just like there's also a lot of brokers that don't value relationships. Big Rig CEO says 3. And then, Paul, he's, hey, Steve, good morning. I'm running primarily on the relationships of the brokers I have developed great relationships with. So, I mean, it is possible. CDN Freight Broker will agree with me.
Yeah. And just to butt in, they're not, like you said, they're not all going to be that way. Okay. There are some that are just out there for the bottom dollar and pocket as much money as they can. And look, that's fine. If you can still negotiate the rate you want, no big deal. But there are some out there that are looking for true, dedicated, hardworking guys that will show up on time, deliver on time, fix the problems when there's a problem, deal with it, and just keep them in the loop of what's going on. And they will pay above dollar that they're usually paying for that because they don't have to babysit you. Okay. They want to send that Raycon, get it back, and then just put it on the side and go worry about other stuff. They don't want to have to babysit. And that has a dollar value to it. So it's your job to market yourself to all the brokers and find the ones that will accept that so that you can cultivate a relationship. And over time, you may not get the best rate going into it because you've got to prove yourself. And that's another thing is everybody expects, I want $5 a mile or I ain't moving. Well, show them you're worth $5 a mile. Take it for $3.50 or whatever. Run a couple of them and say, look, we've done this. No problems. You see how I operate. I'd really like to renegotiate, the rate that we're doing, and they may say, well, they're good with it. Or they may say, we need to run a few more to make sure we're steady, or they may just say no. But you don't know until you present that to them. You can't assume that you know how they're going to think and react.
Yeah, every time I do a load that I like, I go, hey, how many of these do you get? Is this a contract? Is this something you do all the time? And now I've seen that be a little bit harder on flatbed because of the nature of the freight, but I think that's valuable. And sometimes if you're willing to go, if you're the anytime, anywhere guy, sometimes you do a load. If it goes well, you what else you got? You got anything coming out of the area? You do 2 or 3 in a row. So, sure. But I mean, Sean wants to know, how old's your Volvo?
It's 2016. We just turned 800,000 miles on it. And here's the kicker. At 750, the transmission would have been under warranty.
Driving too much.
That's par for the course for me. So that's just how it works,
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, I mean, 50,000 miles ago, I'd still be out. I'd be out some of the money. I'd have to pay part of that 8,000, like the clutch, because it's not really bad, or whatever. But, and there's some other things, but a lot of it would have been absorbed by the warranty. But, it is what it is. I mean, you can't dwell on that. You just got to grab it and move on.
Right. So, and your scenario is a perfect example of you have to count your blessings, because it's, when you're dealing with the $8,000 repair, you have to look at the day. Like when I was down with my turbo a few years ago, I had a friend that was asking me why I wasn't losing it. And I'm like, well, because there's nothing I can do. I didn't have to get a tow truck. I was able to repower the load at Snyder. I'm literally, getting a ride to the hotel, which is across the street from the shop. I can get a hotel. There are some people that can't even get a hotel when they're broke down. Yeah. And I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, you have to look at that. It wasn't like, I've got a buddy of mine that was in the middle of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and blew his turbo and ended up being pretty hefty to repair it because he tried to limp it back. And it was a dealer that's not open 24/7. That was the other thing. So I mean, you have to count your blessings as they come along.
Well, see, and speaking of expenses, I just bought two trailers also. So that was a big deposit and monthly payments now, and then this. So it all kind of comes at you from all sides, all at once. So yeah, I've still got to go up to Chicago and pick up the second trailer. I picked up one. I was supposed to make that run on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so that's delayed too. So yeah.
So you'll probably go straight from. Well, no, you got your other trailer to deal with.
I got to come home, drop it, and then bobtail up there to grab it. Now I do have the plates for it, so I'll be able to grab a load on the way back now. Well, so it won't be a full loss on that. So I'll be able to make money coming back. But yeah, so I got to take care of that too. So, hey, Steve, my grandkids are in. They're getting ready to get up, so I got to get off of here.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping in and telling us your story, man.
Hey, do you mind if I do a shameless plug real quick?
Go for it.
Like I just said, I just got 2 more trailers of 2019s. So I am looking for more owner operators. I've got 3 available trailers right now. So I can bring on more people. If you want information about me, I have a website. It's srlogistics.com, or you can email me at safety@srlogistics.com. If you're not sure about me, call Steve. He can tell you about me. We've known each other for years. But man, I appreciate it. I got to run. I got to go spend some time with the little ones while they're here.
All right. Enjoy your time, man. Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
All right. That was Scott SRO. Perfect example of a person that's got it together. That's not, I mean, he's sitting at home with a potential $8,000 repair, and he does not look worried, does he? Miss Charles, when it was going good, I branched out, being a new authority, but during this time, I'm down to the few that have a good relationship with keeping me busy. And that's the idea. So just like, people say, well, you should be getting direct customers. A lot of people don't think about getting direct customers until the rates and volumes start to drop. Whereas the reality is you should be doing that when rates are high, and and so you become almost because you're one of a few people looking for something, whereas one of many looking for something. So it's the same thing with the broker relationships, and I it's something that I've preached since the beginning. It was something that I failed to do at Landstar to a certain degree. There was a couple of agents that I had developed relationships with, but their turnover rate was high. So one of the agents that I worked with, she went out of business, and then the one that I was doing the shopping carts with, she kept getting underbid by the other agents by the way it was set up for that particular shipper. And so I tried to do that, but I think if I had to go back now, I think I would do a lot better with that. So Big Houston, some of the flatbed loads I normally get have slowed down. Yeah, flatbed rates have dropped a little bit. What gets me here is that if I get a call on a load, but they don't want to pay anymore, and that is the struggle. That's the thing. It's look, like I said, last week was brutal for me. And right now it's gotten to the point that as long as you're moving, you're doing well. Waiting for, people are losing loads over $50, over $100, especially if you need something specific to go somewhere specific. You definitely have no leverage whatsoever. Now the AB5 law that everybody's arguing about, that might create that. Well, no, not might, but it will create different dynamics when it comes to freight in the country, and so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And ideally, if you can take advantage of that, if a person can take advantage of that'll be what's needed. So I put the link in there. If no one else wants to come in, we'll end this here. I've got one truck at the receiver. I probably have another one soon. So it's almost 8 o'clock. That's about when I start. 8 o'clock on the low board this morning is going to be brutal, but we're gonna see what we can get. But I hear your pain, Truck for Life. I hear your pain, and when there's a freight recession, it seems like your board where you're at is definitely suffers. Now, I'm going to force stopper. That is the going thing here. Multiple stops is still making a little bit of money. So basically, it's kind of what the title was going towards, was what's next. You have to ask yourself what's next, and the multiple stops. Do the stuff that no one else wants to do. That's how you stand out. That's how you develop relationships with brokers, is to do the stuff that no one else wants to do when it comes to the worth. Now, when it comes to the rate, yeah, you definitely don't want to, you know, sell yourself short too bad. So a broker's like, hey, man, I'll use you all day long because, you're only at $1.80 and everybody else is asking for $3. So don't be that guy. But also, just it's just it's one of those it's a learning process, right? It's every day is a new adventure out here. So let's see, Toby, what's up? Good morning. Running a bit behind. I'm not scared. I'm ready. There you go, Tennessee. And so when you look at that, Tennessee, why are you not scared? Because you have this and this and this lined up, and that's where your strength is. I think that's why you're going to be a value. So, anyways, I'm going to end this feed. I appreciate everybody coming into the feed and chatting, and I appreciate Scott SRO Logistics. He's got a channel too. He's not very active on it. But he's a busy person, so it's tough. But anyways, guys, there's it's going to be an interesting week. I want to see how this is all going to play out. Give a thumbs up, as Tyrannus is putting there. Put the banner there. We'll see how this week plays out with fuel, because some people are thinking that fuel's going to go up this week, and some people thinking that rates are going to drop this week. So we'll see what happens. Either way, strength for today, hope for tomorrow, and until next time, peace.